and this is utilizing CityBird to calculate species vulnerability indices for Triangle Area College campuses. So, what is CityBird? CityBird was created by Jim Vide and Alberto Galito and was a community science project to monitor bird window collisions in the Triangle area. This past year, it focused on Meredith College, NC State University, and University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. Window collisions are a leading cause of avian mortality. So, the goal was to identify species that are high risk for window collisions. This project was important to me because I'm an avid bird lover, and I'm looking to work with wildlife rehab in the future. So, the steps for this project was, first, I advertised to the Meredith community about the survey through Halo Happenings, flyers, and A3 11 meetings. We ran the survey, and surveys were conducted from September 5th through October 19th, 2020. I had to get data access, research access from eBird in order to use their data on post-breeding season relative abundance for each species in North Carolina. We used post-breeding season relative abundance because it is when there's the most window collisions throughout the year. Sorting through the survey answers. Each survey had to be divided into if collisions occurred, what campus, and the species that collided with the window. I calculated the vulnerability index using R code and compiled the resulting data onto one data sheet. Identifying the risk of high-risk species and determining if there was a correlation between species, relative abundance, and risk score. And this was our main goal. Identifying relative abundance. I downloaded the mean abundance raster post-migration season from eBird, which is the great one. Then I overlaid this raster file on campus map data. Campus map data was the perimeter of each campus. This is UNC Chapel Hill, this is NC State, and that little tiny dot is Meredith College. Depending on the cell, which are the little gray squares, of the relative abundance the campus corresponded with, it provided the mean abundance for each species at each of the 3 campuses. I used a Google Sheet to keep the data organized. It had the species, whether or not they had a stripe, the abundance, the residual, and the risk score. As highlighted are species that had a lower than expected risk score. Originally, I had 50 species, but in the end, I used 21. Species that had a mean abundance of 0 or did not have any window stripes were deleted. The vulnerability index shows the risk posed to that population of a certain hazard. Using an R script, I inputted the CSV of the species, the amount of collisions, and their post-breeding season relative abundance. This resulted in a residual for each species. I took the absolute value, and this was the vulnerability index for risk score. So these were our findings for UNC. This is the top 5 ranked risk scores. So we had the black-throated blue warbler, the common yellow-throat, red-eyed vireo, northern parula, and the golden-crowned kinglet. Most birds in the rankings across campuses are songbirds, which are passerines. In a journal article from the National Library of Medicine, they found that passerine species cannot distinguish glass from unhindered habitat, which results in more window collisions. So, our findings for NC State, we had the common yellowthroat, ovenbird, eastern bluebird, eastern towhee, and the gray catbird. The common yellowthroat was the only species to be on every campus's top 5 rankings. This is a migratory species, which are more likely to collide with windows as they often fly into lighted windows at night. Our findings for Meredith College. So we have the common yellowthroat, again, the ruby-throated hummingbird, the American robin, the black-throated blue warbler, and the mourning dove. The American robin had the highest relative abundance overall, but is ranked 3rd for Meredith and not in the rankings for other campuses. Meaning just because they were in high mean abundance does not mean that they were at the highest risk of collision. Also, another study found that the ruby-throated hummingbird was the highest risk for collision, but was only in the rankings for Meredith College. The science and math building, where we are right now. This has a lot. We found that larger glass area on buildings resulted in more collisions, especially in windows that reflect greenery. As you can see in SMB, it has a lot of windows and there's reflective greenery. On Meredith's campus, the Science and Math building had the most window collisions. I advocate for Meredith to apply bird-safe window decals to SMB atrium windows, or turn the lights off at night, or possibly reduce the amount of greenery, but we really value our beautiful campus, so I doubt that'll happen. In conclusion, this data indicates that there is not a significant correlation between species relative abundance and their risk. This research showed me that college students everywhere can get involved in community science for avian window collisions and make a difference. This survey ran at Meredith College alone and brought in 21 volunteers and was able to spread awareness for avian window collisions and propose possible solutions. Thank you, and a special thank you to my advisor, Dr. Megan Sear and Jen Guy. Any questions?